This video is to help those that want and need a soul calling, spiritual calling, ritual done. I was going to do this in Hmong, but there's a lot of people that are non-Hmong that need spiritual calling too. So I will be doing this one in English, and I will do one that is in Hmong in another video. So to start off, there's a lot of people that are going through either a spiritual awakening experience or are experiencing mental breakdowns, mental illness of some sort, and a spiritual soul calling is not going to heal you. It's not going to be able to bring all balances back to you. But what it can and what it will do is it will help to kind of restore a little bit of your soul spirit, soul energy back to you. And in absence of a shaman being able to give you a shamanic healing ritual, this is the best that you will be able to do for now. So I would advise anyone that has any issues like that to seek a shaman for a spiritual healing, a spiritual revitalization of your soul and spirit. In absence of that, this is the best that you can do for yourself. And for a soul spirit calling, you can do it yourself or have somebody that is a friend or a family member can do it for you. To start off, you will need to get an egg, and you will need a little bowl. In the little bowl, you will need to put some rice, some uncooked rice, so that the egg can stand in the bowl. So get a bowl. I prefer white, so I would advise you to use white, just because white stands for purity, and you want everything that you're doing to be pure and to be free of any impurities. So I will use glass, or plastic is okay too, and ceramic is okay too. Put some rice, uncooked rice, in a bowl, and you will need one incense stick. So put one incense stick into the bowl. Put one egg, uncooked egg, into the bowl. To be a true, authentic soul spiritual calling, you would need a live chicken. If you are not able to utilize or to involve the usage of a chicken, that is okay too. If you were to use a chicken, if you were a male, then you would use a hen. If you were a female, then you would use a rooster. The animals would be about a month in age, so that they are still young chicken. If you are not able to use this, then you would just go without it. So what you would do is you would burn the incense, and I would also use a candle. You put it on a little stool or a little table next to your front door, and you would open the front door so that you have a little gap. Now, if you are to use the chicken, you can make sure that the feet is tied up, and you can keep it in a little box. And the chicken is to appease your spirit. your soul spirit, so that it is more likely to feel welcome and to want to come back home. In addition, using the chicken will allow you to look at the tongue of the chicken. It will allow you to look at the eyes. It will allow you to look at the skull of the chicken, so that it gives you more insight into into information about whether or not your soul and your spirit return home and return to your body. In absence of that, it is okay too, but it's preferred to have the chicken, because your soul spirit will be more likely to want to come home. So you would lay this by the door, and you would burn the incense. So now what you would do is you would imagine all the places that you have ever wandered off to. Imagine all the places that your soul and your spirit might have wandered off to. Think about all the times that you might have gone astray. Think about all the times that you might have experienced trauma. Think about all the times that you might have fallen. You might have hurt yourself. You might have been sad or depressed. Think about all the times that you might have been angry. You might have wanted to hurt yourself, to hurt others, to not be happy and with your soul spirit. You might not have wanted to be a part of living. So now you are also going to think about all the times, all the things that if you were your soul spirit, where might you wander off to if you could exist as a spirit? So during the soul calling, we will speak to all those events and all those times and all those places that you might have wandered off to, in physical form or in spiritual form. So you will start by saying, this is a little bit new to me, and a little bit, I might stumble and stutter a little, because I usually do this in Hmong, which is a language that I speak, and I am having to translate and convert to English as I'm doing this. So bear with me, and if I stutter and stumble a little, please forgive me for that. So to start off, I would indicate a need for a soul calling by saying, so you will be acting as a third person. So you will not be speaking of yourself as though you are yourself. So you will be acting like a third person that is calling the spirit of your spirit to come back home. Okay, so you will perform it in such a way so that you are speaking in let me see, you are speaking as from a third person perspective. So you will say, today is a good day. Today is a fine day, a good evening, and a fine evening. A good time, a good place for me to call upon the spirit and the soul of so and so. So let's say let me make up a name. of, I'm going to say Diana, because that is the name of Wonder Woman, and I liked her as a kid. I liked her character, so I will say Diana, because she has gone through a lot of adventures and a lot of dangerous ventures. So I will use her. So I will say, I am calling upon the soul and the spirit of Diana, Wonder Woman. Although you may have wandered off into vast universes, you may have wandered off into unknown lands, you may have wandered off into much adventure, saving the world. It is time for you to return home, back to your body, back to your home, back to your dimension. I do not wish to call upon dark energy. I do not wish to call upon impurities. I do not wish to call upon sickness. I do not wish to call upon ills. I do not wish to call upon dark entities. I do not wish to call upon anything and everything that which is bad, that which is not pure, that which is not good. I only call upon the spirit and the soul of Diana, Wonder Woman, to return to your body, to return to your soul, to your soul spirit, to return to your body, to return to your energy, to return to your home. You may have wandered off to fight the villains in the universe. You might have wandered off to save the world. You may have wandered off to tackle much let me see what she might have done. So you would just speak to all the things that you might have gotten yourself involved in. So I don't know if this is a good example because it's a superhero, but I'm going to continue using it as an example. You might have wandered off into dark lands. You might have wandered off into space. You might have wandered off into fighting battles. You might have wandered off. And so now I'm going to turn it into, speak to the spirit of Diana. So as a human being, I might say, you might have wandered off and gotten lost on the train, the subway. You might have wandered off and fallen when you were walking. You may have wandered off and pop your knuckles. You might have wandered off and in search of love. You might have wandered off in search of adventure. You might have wandered off in search of friendship. You may have wandered off in search of goodness, in search of fame, in search of fortune. You may have wandered off in search of educating yourself. You may have wandered off in search of paradise. You may have wandered off in search of your studies. You may have wandered off in search of your mother, in search of your father, in search of your family. You may have wandered off too many roads, too many travels, You may have wandered off to do many adventures, many journeys. But now it is time to return to your body, to return to your home, to restore your energy into your body. Diana, it is now time for you to return home. You may not go into vast lands. You may not go into unknown territory. You may not go in search of love. You may not go in search of adventure. You may not go in search of being a superhero. You may not go in search of seeking knowledge. You may not go in search of seeking fame and fortune. You may not go into the next life. You may not go into the heavens. You may not go into the underworld. You may not go search for sickness. You may not go search for ills. You must return home now. I am calling upon your spirit. I am calling upon your soul. I am calling upon your energy. You are going to return home, to your body, to your physical form. So you're going to keep saying this a few times. Think of all the things that may have happened to you, that may have caused you to slip a little, to go astray a little. If it's a child, you might say things like, you may have wandered off to search for playtime. You may have wandered off to search for adventure, to search for, your mom, your dad. You may have fallen. You may have hurt yourself. You may have been upset. You may have felt neglected. You may have cried too much. But now it is time to return home, to return to your body, to return to your spirit, for your spiritual form, to return to your body, return to your physical form, to restore your energy. If it's someone that's sickly, you may say, you may have gotten sick. You may have gone after sickness. You may have gone after ills. You may have chased death. You may have chased down reincarnation. You may have walked down the path to darkness. You may have walked down the path to instability. You may have walked down the path to unknown lands. You may have walked down the path to sadness. You may have walked down the path to depression. You may have walked down the path to madness. You may have walked down the path to being neglected. You may have walked down the path to abandonment. But now I call upon your spirit. I call upon your soul, your spiritual energy, to return home to your house, to your home, to your physical form, to your physical body. You are now going to return. You are going to return with a smile. We are going to return with a open heart, with your soul spirit. You are going to return with goodness. You are going to return with love. You are going to return with positivity. All negativity, you are not accepted. All negativity, you are not invited. All negativity, you are not. You are rejected. You will not be accepted back into the physical form, physical body of Diana. So now, after you do this, after you have felt like you have named all that your soul might have wandered off to, then you say, it is time for you to return to your body, for you to return to your physical form, for you to join together as one spirit. And now I declare that you have returned, and you are now connected. Your spirit is connected to your physical body. Your physical body is connected to your spirit. You will be one. You will combine as one. You will experience good health. You will experience wellness. You will experience mental stability. You will experience happiness. You will experience purity and goodness in your heart. You will return. And now the way we say in Hmong is please come back, please be restored, please be let me see what's a word, please be restored and be combined. Now you say you are returned, you have returned, you have combined, you have been restored. And then we would say Dili da la la do, which just means okay, all is restored. And so now you close the door, and you will have some of the incense that is left on the egg that has not burnt all the way. If you are using a chicken, what you will do is you will use that to wave around the beak of the chicken, and you will speak to the chicken. You will say, so as you're going around with the incense, you will say, okay, let me see. I have to figure out how to say this in English. I would say it something like this. You are a creature of wings. You are a creature. You have a comb upon your head. You can speak the language of the heavens. You and I are not meant to be friends. We are not friends. We are not foe. I am asking you for your help to deliver messages from the heavens back to earth, back to me. May your tongue roll back to show that my spirit has returned. May your eyes be full and strong and intact to show the strength of my spirit. May your skull be free of negativity, be free of ills, be free of misfortune. May it show goodness. May it show good health. May it show the condition of my spirit and my soul. And now you keep waving the incense around the head, and you say, you and I, we are not connected as friends. We are not connected as foes. We are here to bid business with one another. I ask that you do perform this duty for me, and I will give you some Jaws paper money to feed your spirit in bidding this let me see, this duty, and bidding this request that I have asked of you. So then you do that, you finish saying that, and then you should have like a stack of joss paper that is in the form of like a bunch. It'll be like 4 pieces that you have cut together to make one bunch. So then you burn that to the chicken, because you are asking it to bid some business for you, and you burn it to it, and then you finish doing that. So now your incense may not be totally burnt out. So what you will do is you will just go and clip it in at the sink or somewhere so that it can finish burning. So now you do have to butcher the chicken. You do have to butcher the chicken, unfortunately. And so you butcher the chicken, and you have to wait till it's dead. This is after you have already burnt the money to it. And you defeather it by using hot water. You have to, immerse it into hot water so you can take the feather off. You have to take all the guts and everything out. When you do the head, you have to be very careful with the tongue. You open the mouth. You have to cut down so that the mouth opens, but you make sure that you are careful with the tongue, so that you don't cut it or anything like that, because it holds answers that you want. Okay, it holds answers to the state of your spirit and your soul that you will look at later. So be careful of it. When you defeather it, you don't want all the skin to come off. For spiritual calling, the chicken, you want to make sure you do a good clean job and the chicken stays intact, and skin is not, you don't be too rough with it. You didn't put it in the water too long so that all the feather and skin comes off. So after this, you boil the chicken, you boil the egg. When it's cooked and it's done, then you do the same thing. You repeat what you did earlier. This time you put the chicken in a big bowl by the door, facing inwards, to indicate that your spirit and your soul is going to return into the house. You also you put the egg with the chicken. You do not need the bowl with the rice this time. You will need another incense. You will burn another incense. And you will repeat the process, and you will say the same things that we said earlier. And at the very end, then you say, you have returned, you have combined, you have, your spirit has returned to your body, to your physical form. Okay? So this indicates that, oh, we have returned. We have, we're happy to come back and be a part of our physical body. And I say we because your spirit and your soul is not one. It's a, let me see. It's like a cloud of energy. And within that cloud of energy has all your spiritual energy. Spiritual energy for your eyes, your mouth, your nose, your blood, your veins, your organs, all that. Each of that has a governing spiritual energy. So together they make one, but within that spiritual energy, they are separate. So when you check the head and the tongue, you pull out the tongue, and you have to be careful, and you want to see that and I will try to get pictures. I don't know if I can get pictures. I didn't take any pictures when I did this, but I will add them later. So the tongue should be rolled inwards. That indicates that, oh, your spirit has happily returned to you. If your tongue is rolling outwards, that means that your spirit and your soul is rejecting the soul calling. It's not happy to return. It's fighting, it's resisting. You will need more spiritual calling of other sorts in order to restore that spiritual balance for you. The eyes, you want the eyes to be full. If the eyes are sunken and they go in, that means that your spiritual energy, your spirit is not strong. It is, it is in need of healing. Needs fixing of some other sorts. The energy is not intact. The head, you want it to be clean and white, free of blood spots. There might be some little blood spots that are dark. Then that indicates prosperity. That indicates good luck for you. But if there's like blood spots that look fresh and like that the blood doesn't look brown, it looks kind of reddish, then that's a warning. It's warning you that you need to be careful. There is misfortune, mishaps ahead if you're not careful. So that is why you check the head, to check that, to check the divinity from the heavens. It's letting you know about your future, if you should be aware and be mindful, be wary, just be careful. If you're careful, and it's showing you, it's telling you to be careful. So if you're careful, then you bypass that, and you you are able to overcome whatever it is. But if you're not careful, if you see things like that and you're still not careful, then misfortune might be in the might fall into your future. So you don't want to do that. Anyways, this is a little bit long, but I hope that this, if it doesn't help one person, I hope it can help. I mean, if it doesn't help a lot of people, I hope it can help one person. Spiritual calling might seem like it's not a big deal, but it actually is a big deal. If someone that needs spiritual calling, a simple thing such as this can do so much for the spirit and the soul, and restoring your balance, restoring your wellness, restoring your mind. And so hopefully it will help somebody. Thank you for listening, and we will meet again next time.